who's been a longtime friend that I adore. I wouldn't want to fake something like that. And I just, so I just don't watch that kind of content because it makes me anxious. And also, I wouldn't have been a good cast member because I am constantly diffusing fires. And there would need to be some accelerant cast members that would amplify those fires. And I'm not that guy. So I didn't watch it, but I was at Drag Race in Weho the first time the trailer was played. And the booming booing was very indicative of an audience of regulars that did not recognize the people on camera as their peers in that space. So I'm going to include myself as someone of privilege because of, so you have these privileged cast. I can include myself in that thing because not about finances, but visibility and something successful. But I think I think what the people in the room felt like we are the real friends of Weho. Like we don't even know some of these people personally. We don't see them in our spaces often. We don't see them as active members of our community. Some of them may be, but they're such in the upper echelon that I think there was a disconnect. And I feel like, for me, I was just in Palm Springs and I was like, I would have probably watched it if it was a group of unknown seniors in Weho, going through some of the same life issues, and how we meter success shouldn't always be about how Hollywood validates success. And I, so many of those guys on those shows, I was a fan of. The TikTok star, I used to follow him. I don't know if I haven't seen him come up in a while. But he's really funny. James is so kind and lovely. Todrick, full of scandal, but a great performer. I don't know some of the other people. Oh, Curtis, great actor, big heart, kind guy. I didn't know the beauty guy was fantastic, seems like. But
and
I was
Brad
like, I don't
Goreski.
want to see, and Brad, he seems lovely, but again, super successful.
Husband that's really successful too.
Right.
Gary.
So I don't know. I was trying to guess, and I was asking people, and I think they just felt like they didn't seem like one of us was their response. And I think sometimes I'll say gay men like to see women of privilege, but have a hard time. Maybe it's inner homophobia of what I'm seeing that reflected in queerness, and maybe we don't like to see each other bicker, gay men. I don't know where that boils down to or why there was such a visceral response to the show, but I knew that there were people on the show that, were offered this great opportunity, and I know what that's like to get something. You're like, oh God, a job and visibility, and I'm sure, first of it, all these terms were probably thrown at them, and they thought it was going to be better received. And it never feels good to be a part of something. Listen, Bros, Uncoupled, both got negative feedback by certain aspects of the community, while others loved it. So I understand personally what that's like. But it's just not a medium that I can comfortably watch without being like, oh my God, don't fight.
When this MTV person called you, what did she say? Just a group of six? I mean, that sounds like this show.
Yeah, I was looking for the message. I think it was basically like, and there was a couple of shows like this pitched, but so I don't want to say that I was up for this one specifically, but it was about a group of successful, and it was and I was like, no, anything docu, following me around, having to pretend that my life is more fabulous than it is. From the little I've seen of those shows, I don't have that lifestyle. I don't have the Brad lifestyle. I'm not, hosting New Year's Eve like James is. I'm not touring big spaces like Todrick Hall is. I don't have a successful skincare line. If anything, I would probably be on par with Curtis's journey because we're both out actors in Hollywood. But, I think I would have been I wouldn't want to have done that. And it's not shade to them. It's just, I don't even watch Housewives. So how could I watch the gay equivalent?
Are you shocked at where Bravo is? Like it was a little network that really Queer Eye started, other than inside the actor studio.
Look, I think Andy Cohen has had a really fascinating eye for projecting what the future would look like. Queer Eye set up the network to be a show that highlights different tenets of aspirational living. And then they went into the Housewives franchise. That exploded for them. A part of me wants to be on another Bravo show, but in the way that we were, where it's a kind, thing and funny and exciting in its own way. Because I feel like that would be like a homecoming to do something with Bravo, and maybe they'll do something with the original OGs. We don't want to repeat Queer Eye, but we'd love to work together again. But I'm not surprised that they found their brand, they found their voice. And they have great content that isn't about table flipping and weave pulling. So
They do. Yeah, they do. Are you guys going to do anything for the anniversary?
We have
of
not
Queer Eye?
been asked or approached, and it took a number of years to get us all on the same page to be like, yeah, I would love to do something. And now we're all there, and there isn't anyone like drumming the bell. So maybe the 25th anniversary at the wait 5 years. But I know we all want to do something together again. So we'll see. I mean, at this point, I think it's probably better to just allow the new Queer Eye to continue to do that, obviously in the most the way that they do, which is phenomenal, and it reaches so many around the world. I don't think we want to do that again, but I think we all want to do something together again.
Why did it take so long? Just like typecasting? I mean, everyone has other things that they want to be known for.
Yeah, I think Ted has Chopped, and
Yeah.
I think that contract's pretty firm, not letting him do anything in the food space anywhere else. But I think he's paid his dues there, and if there was something unrelated but allowed us to be in the same space and sort of have that lightning in a bottle moment again, I think we'd all be inclined. And I think enough time has passed where we've let go of some of the, well, I don't want to be seen that way, whatever. Like, we're not going to let that happen again. We all know the pratfalls that we fell into, the traps we fell into about the industry when we were naive. And I think people respect us enough to not put us in those situations again.
I know you don't watch Housewives, but are you aware of what the Scandoval is?
No.
Oh, well,
Oh,
that's
I feel
great.
I feel
that's
great that I don't have to know about that. Wait, can you give me an outline and maybe?
Well, we have Vanderpump Rules.
Which is so weird because like 10 years ago, maybe I introduced Sheena at a pool party at White Party, and we became friends. And then when I was doing this off-Broadway show in Vegas, opened the show opposite Kendra Wilkinson called Sex Tips for Straight Women from a Gay Man. They were like, Kendra's leaving the show. Do you know anyone that could replace her? I called Sheena. I was like, hey, girl, they want to, I think you'd be great for this play. And she took the job. But I never saw Vanderpump for the same reasons, because I get nervous and scared and anxious when I see people fighting and stuff. It just, even in a scripted show, I fast forward. So I don't know her body of work, how other people, so when I've been out with Sheena and people come up to her, I don't know. I know that she's famous. I know that there's drama because I see come up on TikTok, but I never watched the video fully to know what it's about. And I don't even know like some Stasi, and I don't know. I know the names, but I don't know like the relationships.
I love that you live right here in West Hollywood and you don't even know what this. No, I mean, this really is true.
It's like it's a deal breaker for some people that I don't watch Housewives. Like, I've been on dates, people like think I'm from another planet.
No, for me, when I'm on a date, it's the exact opposite, because when people are like, they either know what you do or you tell them, it's like, I'm like, oh my, I do not want to talk about this now. Like, this is my job. I mean, no offense to any Housewives. It's like, no, who's your favorite? And which I'm like, no.